How much longer can the economy be shut down before we've passed the limit of no return? What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line. It's Sunday, April the 26th, and well, I don't know, what a crazy week, but I think the big question here is how much longer can we stay shut down before there's total destruction and there is no return? I think that's the biggest question, is the health and the economy, and where can we go from here, and how many businesses are going to be destroyed over this whole pandemic and all these shutdowns in all these states. I mean, already we know that many small businesses are going to be out of business. Okay, they are stimulus payments they're not going to be able to survive. Okay, small restaurants, they're not. I mean, even bigger restaurants, but small restaurants are not going to survive. So, at what cost is it worth still staying shut down? And again, I don't have the answer to that. I'm not a doctor, but I think we have to get the economy open. I think that there's got to be something, and I don't know how you do it, but I don't think that, the state of Illinois is shut down. Now, again, I don't know how they can stay shut down much longer. There's going to be no business left. I mean, these businesses, and this is the core of our country. Okay, our small business, and where are they going to go? Okay, and where are all these jobs that are going to be lost going to go? Okay, we're at that point where there's got to be some tough decisions made, and at some point you've got to say, hey, we've got to go for it. Now, again, I don't know if there's things you can do to prevent the virus from jumping around. I mean, maybe you close the borders of states to keep people in their own state. I don't know, again, but at some point we have to make a bigger decision that has more to do. Again, I understand the governors of the different states, but at some point you have to take the chances. I mean, otherwise there'll be no economy left to do anything. All right, and what are we going to have our favorites at the Federal Reserve continuing to print more money? I mean, that's what they'd like anyways, to turn this into a socialist nation to begin with. So, I mean, again, are we going to go into that path now, where it's free money for everybody? And this program, okay, obviously, first of all, the hostage holding to get these bills signed has been a joke. Okay. Now, again, that's not a party issue, because depending what party's in power, the other party always stuffs those bills with garbage. Okay. And stupidity. Okay. It happens to be the left this time, but the right is no different when it comes to these kinds of things, which is something in itself that says about the system we're running right now, which should tell you something itself about the Congress and the Senate in general, and what it has deteriorated to. Okay, when they're making bad deals so they can get their cash. But really, I guess the big question is, when it's all said and done, who's going to pay for it? Now, you know who's going to pay for it. Okay, I know who's going to pay for it. Look in the mirror. So for every bad deal that they make, for every bad deal that we see, we get to pay for it. Aren't you sick and tired of paying for ignorance? Aren't you sick and tired of paying for bad deals? Okay, I know I am. Okay, again, I'm a big believer in letting business take care of itself, and if you can't survive, you can't survive. Okay, of course, I'm also a guy that would have let the banks that couldn't survive in '08 go out, because I think at this point we are very close to an '08 type of setup. Now, again, yes, the markets have rallied. We'll talk more about that in our market segment. But, rallied on what? Okay. Free money, garbage, air, artificial inflation. Okay. I mean, again, you keep printing money, but they really, obviously, I've said many times before, they keep taking money away from you by just pure access. Okay. And of course, we know they want to eliminate cash. We know they want to track you from the time you're born until the time you drop. Okay. I'm not a big fan, okay, of any of this. Okay. I'm not a big fan of all that's going on right now with the economy. And again, I think we need to, make some hard decisions, because you are going to destroy, this is the biggest destruction you will ever have based on what's going on. So I think you've got to make the tough decisions. We know we're going to get stuck paying the bill, and the bill keeps adding up. Okay. So we will never get out, which is going to, one bad decision always forces another. And again, so I go back to 2008, I'd let the banks go under, the ones that couldn't survive. There were some that couldn't. And I think we're in probably that same situation again. You don't think these guys have bad loans out there? You don't think that, as I've said many times before, that they're accumulating bad paper and paying up for it? Let's be real, okay? Mortgages now, okay? And this is now, but let's. I wonder if we could get, the one problem is we can never get in deep enough, okay? We can never get into a true audit. We hear the bull about these, stress tests, okay? Believe me, I would like to make a huge bet against how strong some of these banks are. I know they talk about it, but I would, like I said, I'd like to take a bet. Okay, I don't have any proof one way or the other, but I can see what's going on. I'm not blind to what's going on. I can see what's going on, and I don't know how they're going to ever survive. Okay, but of course, we do know how, because they're going to get free money again, and of course, then they'll pay themselves big bonuses again. This time is not different. That's the one thing you always have to remember. That is the bad part of this system. Okay, is because we don't get full disclosure on what's really going on, and then all of a sudden it's too late, and of course then they have to be bailed out. So to me, I think that you've got mortgages, you've got already over 6% of the mortgages are in, I guess they call it forbearance. Okay, which means they ain't paying. Okay, which means delinquency, but you can't call them delinquency yet because of the pandemic. Okay. The insurance companies are already weaseling off the hook for the people who paid all that money for business interruption insurance that aren't going to collect. Another nice little situation. There's always, for these huge institutions, there's always these little niches that they get away from having to pay out. Okay. Now, again, I'm not insuring against anything but business disruption insurance. I can't help it that there's a pandemic. Okay. Now, again, look, I don't know what the right solution is, but I do know that, of course, here you are, you pay your premiums, and all of a sudden the interruption comes and you can't get paid. Shouldn't you get something, even if it's not full? Is it right for the insurance companies to be able to wipe off the whole payment? Okay, after all, they collected all that money. Okay, so again, we've got the jobs number coming up Friday. Okay. What's going to be 20%, 20? I have no idea, but we know we've lost, 26 or 27 million jobs already or more. Well, what do we know? Well, we know that the numbers will be bad, but again, this is all banking on whether or not we can get the system back over. Okay. In the meantime, you've got corporate debt exploding. Okay. Which is another problem. All right. Again, for some unknown reason, we allow this debt to continue to explode, and I guess it's just that simple. That the Fed's going to bail us out. So what's the difference, right? And which is obviously why I think the Fed is a worthless organization that has absolutely no clue on what's going on. And I'm not an economist, and I'm sure every economist that watches this is going to say that I'm nuts. Well, it may very well be that I'm nuts, but at the end of the day, okay, I'm tired of paying for everybody else's crap. Okay, nobody bails me out when I go bad. So I'm tired of bailing out garbage. I'm tired of letting people make lots of money on things that they do, and if they fail, they get bailed out. Okay, so I think between the corporate debt and let's not talk about credit card debt. I mean, credit card debt is through the roof. Okay, I mean, this is the most delinquencies and the biggest corporate credit card debt in history. So where is it going to come from? And that has to be the bigger issue. Okay, is the only way you can get out is growing out. You cannot borrow your way out of this debt. You have to grow out of this debt. And the only way you can grow is to have a functioning, running economy to continue to let it go. I mean, the poor farmers, this is like total devastation. They have the worst thing of all, okay? Farming is in the worst position of everybody, okay? Because not only is there no demand for their grains, their cattle and hogs, they can't find slaughterhouses to slaughter them, okay? So we're paying more at the shelves if we can get it, okay? And of course, a lot of stores are empty now. So what's going to happen? Okay, you can't get it to market, and without other places open, you can't market it. So where is it going to go unless we get the economy up and running and going again? Okay. Again, I understand all of the reasons, and I think that at some point you have to weigh the cost, okay, of money and the cost of business and the cost of lives from that perspective versus the cost of lives from the pandemic. Again, I'm not saying, I just know. And of course, we all saw what happened with the oil markets last week, okay? And that was pretty damn interesting, okay? Now, I actually wrote about oil going negative on Monday before it did, okay? But it was obvious that oil was going to go negative because you could see that if you've ever seen a short squeeze before, this was a long squeeze. This was too many people holding too much oil into delivery. Okay, this is why we don't ever trade delivery, but this is too many people and there's nowhere to go. So you can't store it. So you can't pour it in the street. Okay, it's not like the dairy guys who can dump it. Can't dump it. What you can do? You have to force your way out. So you know there are a number of firms that probably went bust on that, which we probably haven't heard yet. Probably a few traders. You know, a lot of things happen there, but you could see the shrill and the panic as the markets tanked and actually went negative, begging and paying somebody to take me out. Okay, I wasn't there, but that was an obvious thing to see. And don't be surprised, okay, if when we open the economy, if we open it, okay, or if we don't open it, okay, but you could see June do the same thing as July, okay? And we'll talk about more about that in our market segment. In the meantime, we're going to step out here for a break. This is Buzz Bottom Line. It is Sunday, April the 26th, and we'll be back with more after the break. So kids, well, I got news for you. We've been doing some great webinars, and we've been kicking ass and taking names with our stuff, our products, and of course, as Bubba Trading moves to almost all mechanical trading and systems. Okay, I'd love to have you aboard. If you want to check out any of the webinars, all you gotta do is email me at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And of course, don't forget about our brokerage partners for commodities and futures at CTG Group. And of course, they do a terrific job. Got great service. Okay, they take care of everybody. They do all of our letter direction trading. And you know what? You pick up the phone, they answer. Love that part. You need service. And of course, then there's Trader for our equities. And again, listen, we're just going to go for $10 a month. Okay. All those other guys who say it's free, it's not really free. Here's $10 flat, nothing else to pay for. You want to get a hold of either one of those guys? Just send me an email at bubba@bubbatrading.com, and I will send you their information. And glad to have you aboard. In the meantime, always reach out to me. And don't forget about our high school program as we rebuild it for next year. Hopefully we're back in school. And you can help us out at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. That's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line with me, your host, Todd Bubba Horwitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, April. I'd like to say March. April the 26th. It feels like March. The weather sucks. Anyways, well, again, markets had a minor down week last week, but they've had a huge move. Now, again, the real question is what is propelling these markets higher? Now, we're long, okay? And by the way, just a reminder out to many of you who watch, okay, and some of you comment, there's a skill known as effective listening, okay? You know, because I give you my exact positions when we're here. So, you know, don't try to misread or misinterpret or misreport what I've said, because it's very clear. We are long the equities. We have been so for a long time. Do I think we're going to make new lows? Yes, I do. but I'm still long right now. Why? Because I'm trading with my algorithms. Okay. And my algorithms say it's time to be long. So I am not going to go short yet. I'll be happy to go short when it happens, but this is not the time based on the algorithms. So if I'm going to be a mechanical trader, which is the direction that we're heading, okay, and where I'd like everybody to be, then I'm not going to fight the mechanical system. Okay. So yes, I have an opinion. I think we make new lows, but it doesn't mean we can't go up another 5 or 6% before we start it. In the meantime, we are long. And of course, we're going to stay there. I mean, we'll be there now at least till Tuesday. Okay. And probably longer. I don't see it changing even with a sell-off tomorrow if it comes or starting tonight. But in the meantime, well, again, we're long and obviously they look good. But if you really look at the big chart, just so you understand, the markets are in dead solid consolidation. They aren't. This is the point. They're at the point where I would say I predict, okay, a 10% move minimum in either direction. Obviously, the direction I hope right now, based on my position, based on my retirement, based on my IRA, is up. Okay, but it wouldn't surprise me either way. My prediction is we move at least 10% in one direction or the other. Which way? Again, based on the algorithms, it should be up, but that could change. But we are dead in the middle of the bigger range, and we're now winding into the spot where the spring is loaded and it's going to pop one way or the other. Crude, we talked a little bit about that in the beginning, but crude was easy to predict that it was going to be negative on Monday. And again, that's because it's delivery, so the contract goes off the board. And I hated the way that all the TV stations, they made such a big deal about it. Okay, all the news reports, Barney and all those jackasses kept talking about negative oil, negative. So what? It was over. It was expiring. It was an expiring contract. Just look out into the future. But the future tells us that there's hope. Okay, the future is more bullish, but again, that can change. But the formation still suggests that oil will go higher. Now, again, if we don't get open, if we get problems and don't get this economy rolling, well, oil is going to continue to go lower, and we'll see another negative month at the end of this month if that happens. But again, if we get open, we'll start to see some move. So we are long oil right now. I apologize. We just reversed. My bad. We just reversed. We were long. Now we're short. Okay, but in the meantime, again, I can see negative oil coming again. Again, on this, it's only in the month, right? It's only at expiry. It's only at delivery. Okay, bond markets continue to be also in a pretty tight range, but leaning towards the upside. We remain long the treasuries. Again, interest rates are going down. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but they're going down. Okay, gold continues to look really good. Okay, and it was interesting. I'd written last week and talked about a free fall in gold, which it was. For about 20 minutes, gold dropped about $40. Okay, to me, that's a free fall. Tie that in with negative oil and everything that was going on. To me, it's a free fall. Some genius, decided to chime in, but in the meantime, but it does look good. We're still long. Okay, and it looks like it wants to break out. It looks like it wants to test or take out the highs. I'm assuming that we will see 1,800 maybe this week. Okay, again, I'm not calling for the new all-time highs yet because, again, I don't do that. I can only watch it one level at a time, but I could see 1,800 coming. The metal, the others, silver and platinum, don't look so good. Now, we're still long both, but they don't look great. Their patterns are completely different than the pattern in gold. They look weak. They look like they could break. But again, as long as the algorithm's long, I will stay long with them. But they just don't look great. Okay? So we'll see what happens there. And of course, the dollar, we remain short the dollar. Now, the dollar's been in a pretty big whipsaw, but it is up at the higher end of the levels. And, again, the dollar is a fear asset, and that's where a lot of money flows in, okay, to kind of protect. So that's what you're seeing. So it's hard to imagine, as hard as the Fed has tried. It's like the wolf and the three little pigs, huff and puff and blow down the dollar. It's been huffing and puffing, but it looks like the dollar's been made out of brick. Okay, not out of straw, not out of whatever, I forget the other one. But I mean, again, you see that it continues to hold up. Now, again, we're still short. That the algorithm is still shorted, but that's where I'd be looking. And we look at of course, we talked a little about the grain markets, but the grain markets are brutal. Okay, every time you think there's a little bit of hope and a little bit of charge, they fall down again. Okay, but we are at some pretty major levels, and this should be the lows. Now, again, we're still short across the board. Okay, this should be the lows. or somewhere in near here should be lows. But again, trying to predict or telling a market that it can't go any lower would be like telling crude oil it could go to negative. Okay, so again, they don't look good. It's a brutal time. The whole circumstances, the chain of events couldn't be worse. So we'll see what happens here. But again, obviously, I am short. I would love to be long. Okay, and without the algorithm, I would be a buyer. I'm going to wait because again, I will turn when it's time. And of course, the meats look almost as pathetic as the grains. Okay, and of course, this is a real problem when you get to the slaughterhouses. You've got Tyson. Many of the hog places are closed now, which is brutal. Okay, Tyson and Smithfield's. Okay, and some of the others. So again, this is a problem, and this is a big cause at the supply chain. And of course, what that really has done is it's really raised the price at retail if they have any left. Okay, but we can't get it there. So unfortunately, farmers get the pleasure of not only having lower priced beef, but continue to have to feed them. Okay, and again, what are they going to do? They don't stop, doing what they do. So it's a rough situation. But again, we're short the meats. Again, I'd love to be a buyer, but you continue to see that every time you get a chance, we're at ridiculously low prices, across the board. Now, again, I would not be surprised once there is some salvation to see a major rally. But right now, again, I would, if I was not using the algorithm, I would be a buyer. But I am, so I'm not. Okay. And so, when we look at these situations, again, when we look at the markets, when we look at everything going on, I mean, by raw nature, we would expect the Dow to go down, although it's up and we're long. Okay. And that just shows you that price action rules all, not opinions. Okay. Because yes, the economy is weak. Yes, the jobs numbers are going to be brutal. Yes. But what is the market doing? Okay. Now, the big question is if they do open the economy, fuller, we've already seen Georgia and a couple other places start to open up a little bit. If we do see an opening, okay, is that the green light for the market to sell off? In other words, has this been a big rally into the hope that they're going to open, or as they say, buy the rumor, sell the news? Okay, so that's always something we have to look for. But the big problem remains no liquidity. Okay, brokers are panicking. Okay, raising margins. Many have already quit allowing trading in June and July oil. Okay, so these are problems. What they're really doing is they're creating situations of illiquidity to keep people out of the market. Okay, which means that the brokers still get to make money because they have you out and in cash where they're getting paid, and you're sitting with no opportunity to trade. So again, this is a problem, and of course, this is where the chicken shits get the floors and the exchanges and the brokers. Okay, it's a major mass panic from all of them. Okay, that is preventing the little guys from trading actively in these markets because you have no liquidity. Okay, that is a story that has to be told, but of course, very few will ever tell it. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. We're going to stop out of a break. We'll come back with my commentary. Be something, maybe it'll be something controversial. Who knows? In the meantime, we'll be right back after the break. Well, kids, again, markets are markets, and our products have been performing very well. I mean, you should see our FANG portfolio. Whew, my goodness gracious! But great, they're going great, and they will always go great. I mean, they'll have their periods of drawdowns, but you want to check them out? I'll send you their webinars. I mean, we are going to shut them down, okay, in the next couple of weeks, okay. So we are. In other words, we're not going to take new members. So if you want to take a look at them, this is your chance, okay? We've got our hedging webinar coming up, and that will be the end of this year for me, okay, of teaching. So again, we will keep you posted on that, and that'll be next Saturday. But in the meantime, if you want any of the old webinars, send me an email at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And of course, don't forget about our great broker relationships with futures and commodities, CTG Group, Okay, and Nell Sloan over there, Pat Lafferty, they take care of everything and do a great job. And again, great customer service, and they do all of our letter direction trading. Okay, and of course, over at Tradier, I mean, again, $10 commission flat, no other fees, great platforms. I mean, again, what better can you ask for? They're terrific. Both do a great job. Both have great customer service. So if you want their information, just send me an email at bubba@bubbatrading.com. And let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and my commentary. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz. And of course, it's Sunday, April the 26th. And you know me, I always got some commentary. I got something to bitch about or something to say. And of course, a little bit of a potpourri here. But I think the big question is, what else is the FBI hiding? Okay. It recently came out in the last day or so about General Flynn. And of course, he's truly innocent now. Okay. They have found evidence that was being stashed by, of course, the FBI, which, of course, has been controlled pretty much by the left, as we could tell from Peter Strzok and whatever her name was when they were guaranteeing that the president who won would not get in. Okay. And of course, they've been on his ass ever since. But of course, so again, you know my views, if you've been around at all, that I think that there is the deep state. I do think there's a lot of stuff goes on that everybody gets away with. I do think that Hillary Clinton should be in jail. So again, I do think, and not just Hillary. Listen, I'm sure there's plenty of Republicans that should be in jail too. Okay, again, I'd have to go back in my memory bank. Again, I'm not a big fan of the way the system operates now, anyways. But we know that there's a lot of information that somehow never makes it to the streets. Okay. And I think that's very good for Flynn. Okay. I think that's great. And again, I guess the other question is who else? How can Joe Biden, okay, have a sexual abuse claim against him? Okay. And there's more than one, but how can he have one against him and we don't hear a peep? Okay. When Kavanaugh was trying to get confirmed, they had a whole hearing. They had every day blanket coverage, hour to hour, minute to minute. Joe Biden, not a word. Hard to hear about it. Okay. To me, doesn't that reek of something to you? Okay. Again, I don't care who you vote for. I told you last week. Vote for who you want for. Vote. Get off your ass and go vote. That's all I care about. Okay. But in the meantime, doesn't that reek of something that when the Supreme Court justice or President Trump or somebody over there, they're like beaten down forever. Yet here's the next potential nominee for the Democratic Party, not a peep. Okay. And of course, then you've got AOC, another dope, telling her people, don't go back to work because you're making more sitting home. We're not going back in those circumstances. I mean, we're now dictating that we're only going to work on a free socialism system and get free money from the government. Okay. That's why the federal government's too big and it should be shut down. Okay, that's why it should go to the way it was originally supposed to be, which is the states rule, city, county, state, federal overseas. But in the meantime, I don't know. I got so many more things I go through, but those are just questions I have. And I hope you have a great week. I hope you had a great week, and I hope you're staying healthy. And I hope that we get things open soon. I mean, again, I'm going stir crazy. So in the meantime, let's hope we get the economy rolling. Let's hope we get things open soon. And let's hope everybody stays healthy and they find a cure or at least a vaccine. In the meantime, everybody, have a great weekend. Stay healthy, be good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for Bubba's Daily Update and, of course, every Sunday with Bubba's Bottom Line. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.